right, thank you for that. Well, as President Trump ratchets up attacks on Harvard University, students, faculty, and alumni, they are pushing back in protest.
That as the Trump administration moves to end all federal funding ties to the school and pauses the process for international students to get a visa to study anywhere in the U.S.
NBC's Alice Barr has more from Washington, D.C.
At Harvard University, where students are preparing for graduation tomorrow, a focus on not just their futures, but the famed universities.
We will not be repressed. Today, we can stand up and say no.
Protests after the Trump administration directed federal agencies to review and cancel roughly $100 million worth of Harvard contracts, as President Trump seeks to cut all federal ties to the school.
We give them billions of dollars, which is ridiculous.
The administration accusing the university of liberal bias and not doing enough to fight anti-Semitism has already frozen billions in federal funds, launched investigations, and revoked Harvard's ability to enroll foreign students, though a federal judge temporarily blocked that move. The president also suggested shifting $3 billion in research grants to trade schools instead.
Apprenticeships, electricians, plumbers, we need more of those in our country and less LGBTQ graduate majors from Harvard University.
Harvard has refused to comply with demands to oversee its student admittance and faculty hiring processes, accusing the administration of retaliation for refusing to surrender academic independence.
Why cut off research funding? Sure, it hurts Harvard, but it hurts the country.
And it's not just Harvard. An internal memo seen by NBC News shows the administration is ordering a halt to interviews with international students seeking visas to study in the U.S. as the State Department moves to expand social media screening of applicants. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And on the international front, President Trump venting frustration with Russian President Vladimir Putin after a series of deadly attacks on Ukraine.
The president, who's been ramping up his rhetoric as he presses for a ceasefire, says Putin is playing with fire.
The Trump administration asking the Supreme Court to lift limits on deportations of convicted criminals to third countries that are not their nations or of origin. The administration is seeking to block an injunction issued by a federal judge that says the affected immigrants should be given a meaningful opportunity to raise concerns about the potential risk of torture, persecution, or death. Just last week, the judge said the administration had violated his previous order by flying 8 migrants to South Sudan. The men are now being held in a U.S. facility in Djibouti.